no secret that gun violence is becoming an increasing problem nationwide here in Connecticut. And like most states, more needs to be done to get illegal guns off the street.
Yeah, in fact, the group Connecticut Against Gun Violence reports firearms are used in more than 2,000 crimes every year here in Connecticut. 60% of homicides are committed with firearms.
Well, now a professor at the University of Hartford is trying a proactive approach to end the violence. Bill Seymour is here now with his unique approach and some students here as well. Bill, thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about the program.
I run a senior level communications class in public relations at the University of Hartford, and I chose a project this year related to community outreach. And we wanted one that could affect Hartford, that would have the students involved in the community in which they go to school. So I talked with Drs. Brendan Campbell at Connecticut Children's, Dr. David Shapiro at St. Francis, Lieutenant Lance Seegersmith at the Hartford Police Department, and we decided to do gun buyback in Hartford. This way we could help them raise the awareness of their program so that we could get more guns off the street in Hartford. I had the students put together plans of outreach, of how they could come up with a number of different ways to do this, create brochures, do media, create videos, and here are some of the students.
Can you introduce us to the three students you brought with you?
Sure. We have Sloan Davis, we have Fiona Farley, and we have Danielle Etta.
Now, were you guys all working on the same project together? Because obviously there's groups of students who are all on the same project together.
Yeah.
Now, what went into your idea for your specific plan?
Well, I think since we go to school in Hartford, we sort of saw that it was right next to us. You know, it's like a neighborhood that we live in right now. So we sort of, we were reaching out to teens a lot. So we tried to think of ways to reach like an urban youth audience. So we spoke to a few students, and we also just tried to think of ways that it would gain our attention. So we sort of did that.
In doing your research and talking to young people, what did you find was most surprising?
I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, we didn't find it surprising, but a lot of the students, like, to reach out to them, it was a lot of social media. Social media is a huge thing nowadays, and the way to really get into that demographic is to go through social media and using Twitter, which is an untapped source that the doctors haven't used yet. So we found that was really...
Did you find that the folks that you spoke to, that they were willing to share information, or that they were a little hesitant to get involved?
Well, most of our research was comparing other cities. So I know Danny spoke to New York City, like Brooklyn, Bronx, and I spoke to Cincinnati, and we saw a lot of what they did, and they did social media, so we figured it might work, and we know that it's really big among teens, so not just teens, like we're trying to reach anyone we can, so we thought it would be a great outlet.
And going into the program, what were you hoping?
We were just hoping that we'd think of a few tactics that would engage people. You know, we suggested reaching out to local radio stations, just getting anyone that we can in the area involved.
I think the main focus was to make sure that we reached out to people to let them know that if there is a gun lying around their home, that if they're not using it, that they have a place that they can bring it back to and help the community. And really all we wanted to do was make sure we could give back to the community for being here for 4 years.
Bill, how do you feel about the whole program and all the work that the students put in?
I think they did a tremendous job. When they made the presentations to Dr. Shapiro and Campbell, as well as Lieutenant Seegersmith, those three were just fully impressed by the amount of effort and energy these kids had put into figuring out ways to get unwanted, useless guns off the street of Hartford. They came up with a variety of tactics, going from churches, having community meetings, using Twitter, particularly Twitter. Doctors Campbell and Shapiro and Lieutenant Seegersmith actually went through a number of demonstrations when they made the presentation and just kept asking question after question, and see that as a good opportunity to reach the audience, as well as getting through local radio stations, getting DJs, getting television personalities to support it, because this is a program that's pulled together by these doctors and a community of other people within about a 2-month framework. They don't get extra money for it. They're not giving a lot of extra time to do it. So we decided to give them something that otherwise they'd have to pay for, some public relations plans and ideas beyond just what they might have on their own to get these guns off the street.
Now, we do have time to show a quick clip, so we're going to check it right now.
My father was killed by gun-related violence.
My mother.
My brother.
My sister.
My friend.
To prevent this, Hartford Gun Buyback Program is open to Connecticut residents in the area willing to sell back their unwanted guns.
Now, what's next for the program?
What happens next is in the fall, we're going to begin to implement these tactics that the students have put together. We're going to be having more meetings, and we're going to figure out ways to actually broaden the community awareness using social networking, using Twitter, using different meeting places, perhaps getting some television personalities involved, radio personalities, so that we get as much awareness of it as possible to start getting these guns in.
It's a fantastic program.
Yeah, great program.
And a great way, really just try to make the streets safer, right?
Right, that's exactly it.
You ladies are very much an inspiration.
Thank you.